Welcome to Silent Secrets. In today's video, we're going to uncover a truth that most people are too afraid to say out loud. It's a truth that doesn't come from judgment, but from observation, from psychology, experience, and the hidden language of human behavior. You see, a woman's past isn't simply a list of memories, names, or stories. It's a psychological landscape, filled with emotional footprints that shape how she loves, trusts, and connects. Carl Jung once said that what we repress doesn't disappear. It simply hides and waits for the right moment to reveal itself. Every experience, every heartbreak, every attachment, every goodbye leaves an imprint. And when those imprints are too many, too deep, or too scattered, they don't just vanish. They reshape how a person bonds. They rewrite the emotional script that governs how they connect in the present. Today, we're not talking about superficial labels or passing judgment. We're going deeper, into the subtle psychological markers that reveal when a woman's emotional blueprint has been fractured by too many unfinished stories. Because when that happens, what looks like confidence or freedom on the surface often hides something else: emotional disconnection. And by the end of this video, you'll understand 7 hidden signs that a woman may not be capable of building something real, not because she's a bad person, but because her emotional foundation has been quietly reshaped by her past. The 7th sign, in particular, is one you can verify with your own eyes, a pattern that can save you years of emotional investment in the wrong story. So take a deep breath and listen closely, because the first step toward protecting your peace is learning to see clearly. Sign 1. The illusion of intimacy. When comfort is a warning, at first, she seems like a dream. She's open, confident, effortless. The kind of woman who can talk about anything, even intimacy, without hesitation or shame. You think, finally, someone real. But here's the hidden paradox. That ease, that comfort, isn't always a sign of emotional maturity. Sometimes it's a symptom of emotional exhaustion. Healthy intimacy, real connection, starts with natural boundaries. There's usually a sense of shyness, curiosity, even nervousness. It's not awkwardness, it's reverence. It shows that what's happening actually matters. When that's missing, when everything feels too fast, too casual, too familiar, it's not confidence. It's conditioning. Her comfort with closeness doesn't come from trust. It comes from repetition. She's been here before, many times. She knows what to say, how to act, when to lean in. It feels real, but it's a performance. The conversation flows. The chemistry sparks. But something's off, like watching an actor deliver lines perfectly, yet feeling nothing behind them. And here's the truth. When someone treats closeness as routine, the soul behind it often isn't present. It's muscle memory, not emotion. You might think you found a woman who's bold and uninhibited, but in reality, you may have met someone who's learned to protect herself through detachment, someone who's replaced genuine emotional buildup with practiced performance. In the beginning, it feels intoxicating. Later, it feels empty. Because while her words sound open, her heart never truly lets you in. Sign 2. The glass wall. The silent barrier of emotional distance. If the first sign hides in her confidence, the second hides in her silence. She's there with you, laughing, sharing, listening. But deep down you sense something's missing, like there's an invisible wall between you. You can see her. You can touch her, but you can't reach her. This isn't shyness. It's not moodiness. It's emotional isolation, a defense mechanism built over time. A woman who's been through too many emotional cycles often learns one painful lesson. The more you give, the more it hurts when it ends. So she learns to stay halfway in. She'll share stories, but never secrets. Feelings, but never fears. She'll smile, but her eyes will stay guarded. No matter how long you're together, there's a part of her that's locked away. A room in her heart you'll never enter. When conflicts arise, this wall becomes visible. Instead of communication, there's withdrawal. Instead of connection, there's shutdown. She might go cold or vanish for days or end things suddenly with the line, "I just need space." and you'll be left wondering what went wrong, when in truth, nothing went wrong. That wall was there from the start. Emotional isolation is one of the hardest patterns to notice early because it hides behind charm and competence. But in reality, it's loneliness wearing a smile. You'll always feel close to her, but never connected. Present, but never safe. Sign 3. The orbit of attention. When validation becomes a habit, let's talk about her social world. She knows everyone. Her phone lights up constantly. Messages, notifications, friendly check-ins. And when you ask who these people are, the answer is always the same. They're just friends. But look closely, and you'll notice something deeper. These friends aren't just random people. Many are admirers, exes, or men who clearly see her as more than a friend. For her, attention isn't just flattering, it's fuel. Somewhere along the way, she learned that her worth is measured by how many people desire her. So she maintains an orbit, a ring of men who provide constant emotional energy, reassurance, and admiration. It's not always conscious manipulation. Often it's survival. Her self-esteem has become externalized, powered by validation rather than self-acceptance. But here's the cost. If her emotional energy is scattered across multiple sources, she'll never be fully present with you. You'll get part of her attention, but never all of it. When things are going well, you might feel like you're her world. But the moment you stop feeding that validation, she shifts, subtly pulling away, recharging from her orbit of admirers. A relationship built on this dynamic feels unstable, like loving someone whose heart has too many open tabs. Because in truth, she's not sharing intimacy. She's managing attention. Sign 4. When intimacy becomes a transaction. This one is perhaps the hardest to talk about, and the most misunderstood. For some people, intimacy becomes something other than connection. It becomes currency. It's used to comfort, to control, to negotiate, or to gain approval. In her world, affection might be a tool, given or withheld based on circumstance. When she's happy, she's affectionate. When she's upset, she becomes distant. Not because she's cold, but because she's learned that control feels safer than vulnerability. She may not even realize she's doing it. But over time, you'll sense a pattern. Warmth when things go her way, distance when they don't. It's a subtle form of power exchange. One that leaves you constantly wondering, does she care, or is this just strategy? In healthy love, closeness is spontaneous. It's the natural overflow of trust. But when someone has been hurt repeatedly, they often turn connection into calculation. They've learned that affection can be the fastest way to influence behavior. And once that link is made in the mind, real intimacy becomes difficult, because it's no longer an act of love. It's a means of survival. You'll find yourself chasing moments that used to come naturally, trying to earn what should have been freely given. That's not love, it's emotional economics. Sign 5. Emotional precision. The art of subtle manipulation. The previous sign was about control through closeness. This one is about control through psychology. She understands emotions, not by study, but by experience. She knows what makes men feel seen, admired, or insecure, and she uses that awareness with surgical precision. She'll say the right things at the right time, words that make you feel powerful, unique, and chosen. She'll tap into your ambitions, your fears, your dreams. You'll feel understood like never before. But then, almost imperceptibly, the tone shifts. Small comments begin to appear. Subtle comparisons. Minor doubts. You've changed. I just missed the version of you I met. What she's doing isn't random. It's conditioning. A cycle of admiration and withdrawal that keeps you emotionally hooked. You'll start working harder for her approval, not realizing that the approval itself is the bait. She's learned, consciously or not, how to use a man's need to protect and provide as a source of emotional control. This isn't villainy. It's adaptation. A skill built from years of learning what works. But make no mistake, it leaves you trapped in a psychological loop, a constant chase for equilibrium that never comes. You're not in a relationship. You're in a performance. one where she directs the emotional script, and you react to the cues. Sign 6, pride instead of reflection. When the past becomes a badge, we live in an age where everything is public. Experiences, opinions, relationships. And in that world, vulnerability often disguises itself as confidence. When she talks about her past, her relationships, her mistakes, listen closely to how she speaks, not just what she says. Some women speak of the past with introspection, even humility. Others with defensiveness or even pride. And when pride replaces reflection, it's a red flag. She might say, "I don't regret anything. It made me who I am." It sounds empowering. But often it's not healing. It's avoidance. Psychology calls this reaction formation, when a person hides discomfort by expressing the opposite emotion. In this case, instead of processing shame, she converts it into defiant pride. But the truth is, growth doesn't come from denying our past. It comes from understanding it. Without that, history repeats. When she dismisses questions about her choices as judgmental or old-fashioned, she's not being progressive. She's protecting an identity built on denial. And that identity creates a divide between you. Because while you're seeking depth and exclusivity, she's still operating from a worldview where emotional connections are temporary and interchangeable. It's not about blaming her. It's about recognizing that two people living by different emotional logics can't build the same kind of bond. Sign 7. The pattern of short stories. The endless restart. Finally, we reach the clearest and most measurable sign, her relationship history. It's not about numbers or gossip. It's about patterns. If every relationship in her life follows the same script, fast intensity, deep connection, sudden disinterest, clean break, that's not coincidence. That's conditioning. Her emotional system is trained to crave novelty. Each new beginning releases a rush of dopamine, excitement, passion, discovery. But when that chemical wave settles and real intimacy begins, the kind that requires patience, vulnerability, and work, she grows restless. She confuses stability with boredom, and the cycle begins again. This is called novelty-seeking behavior. It's a psychological pattern where the thrill of the beginning replaces the comfort of longevity. To her, love isn't a journey, it's a spark. And once the flame dims, she moves on to find another match. She might say, "I just haven't met the right person yet." But if every story ends the same way, the constant factor isn't luck. It's her attachment. Pattern, you'll notice it in the way she speaks about exes. Always almosts. Always, "They couldn't handle me," or "We just grew apart." The story always changes. The ending never does. You're not stepping into a love story. You're stepping onto a carousel. The shadow in the mirror. Recognizing these signs isn't about blame. It's about clarity and responsibility. Carl Jung taught that every person carries a shadow, the part of ourselves we hide, deny, or refuse to integrate. For some, that shadow manifests as fear of closeness, emotional inconsistency, or endless searching. But here's the hidden twist. When you find yourself drawn to someone who embodies chaos or emotional unavailability, it might be your own shadow calling out. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to this? Do you want to save her, or save a part of yourself through her? Do you mistake unpredictability for passion because you fear peace might be boring? The answers to those questions define more than just relationships. They define your self-awareness. We attract what we haven't yet healed. And sometimes, the people who shake us the most are mirrors, reflecting back our own unprocessed wounds. If you find yourself caught in a pattern of emotional turbulence, step back, not to run, but to understand. Because true connection doesn't require chaos. It requires clarity. A woman who's emotionally ready doesn't need to perform confidence. She doesn't need an orbit of admirers. She doesn't weaponize affection or hide behind pride. She moves slowly. She listens. She feels safe being seen, and makes you feel the same. That's how you know you've found something real. And that's the silent secret most people never tell you. It's not about finding someone flawless. It's about finding someone who's done the work, who's turned her past into wisdom instead of armor. Before you go, take a moment to reflect. When you meet someone who fits these signs, what do you feel first? The urge to save them or the instinct to step away? Write your honest answer in the comments below. That reflection alone might change the entire direction of your future. And remember, a man who knows his worth doesn't chase chaos. He protects his peace. Because peace, not passion, is the real foundation of love. Thank you for watching Silent Secrets. If this video helped you see relationships through a deeper lens, tap that like button and subscribe for more psychological breakdowns and real-world insights. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and keep your secrets silent.